Hi there! This video series is to display my problem-solving and learning abilities. I plan to show that I can solve any programming problem, regardless of whether I already have expertise in a particular language. I hope this helps others in my field to learn not just how to solve a particular problem, but how to teach themselves a solution to an unfamiliar problem. Currently, I am learning Python. I have no professional experience in the language and have only been learning it since mid-January. My only formal training is completing the Python for Programmers course on Execute Program. While I'm picking Python up fairly quickly, I cannot claim any real expertise. Today, I'm showing my approach to solving the 24th Project Euler problem from start to finish, vocalizing my thought process throughout. As always, I will link to both Project Euler and my repository in the description. Let's dive in. Problem 24 is lexicographic permutations. A permutation is an ordered arrangement of objects. For example, 3, 1, 2, 4 is one possible permutation of the digits 1, 2, 3, and 4. If all of the permutations are listed numerically or alphabetically, we call it lexicographic order. The lexicographic permutations of 0, 1, and 2 are the 6 items. What is the millionth lexicographic permutation of the digits? And it lists all 10 digits. So, once again, the fact that I am doing these challenges in Python is going to be an advantage, because Python includes, and I learned this in the Execute Program course. Or it may have been HackerRank. Either way, Python includes some methods that give you permutations. So if I just search for Python permutation library, Geeks for Geeks, we have itertools, and there's a method called permutations, so we can get all of the permutations of like 1, 2, 3, and there's 6 of them, and here they are, and it's supposed to return them in lexicographic order anyway. And I also want to make a note again that I am giving myself the advantage of I have a computer with a pretty massive amount of RAM. So holding tons of data in memory just isn't a problem for me. So I'm going to make a little array called digits that has all of the digits in it. Oop. And the limit is going to be 1 million. And what I am going to do is say perms equals permutations digits, and I'm just gonna go ahead and print perms limit -1 to account for the fact that it's 0 indexed. And I think that it is entirely possible that this will just give us the correct answer. But, of course, I'm not 100% certain of that, so let's see. Permutations object is not callable because these are meant to be square brackets, not parentheses. So that's always the way. Tiny mistakes like that. Not subscriptable. Okay, so I need to perhaps convert perms into a list. Let's see if that works. Okay. That is not quite what I want, because while this answer could be the correct answer, and obviously we got there in, like, less than a second, this is not a number. So what we actually want to do here is we want to take this I'm going to say call this limit st. I'm trying to be cute here, like how many it's like first or whatever. I'm just gonna call it limit item, that makes more sense. And then that'll be that, and then I'm gonna make an item equals, ooh, can't do concatenation here. I'm going to turn all these into strings real quick. Shouldn't make a difference as far as the actual, like, problem is concerned, but it might make it a little bit easier to I can just call this join method and pass in limit item, and then print int item, and that should give me the same answer of 278,391,5460, which kind of does not feel like it should be the correct answer, but let's see how it does. And yeah, it printed it. Looks nice. Let's go ahead and see. Is this our correct answer? I'm guessing no, because I think the correct answer like, it's weird to me that the correct answer starts with a 2. But we'll see. And again, even with a little bit of manipulation, we're running in under a second here. So, let's see. We're waiting for Project Euler. And that is the correct answer. So, pretty cool. And it looks like only about 120,000 people have solved it before I did. So yeah, this is the sort of thing that you can do when you know about libraries. I was calling this built-in. I think this is from Python, but it obviously is a library, kind of like how the collections library in Java is part of Java. So, let's see, what did I do? Very, very simply, the question was about what is this particular permutation if they're in order. I created a string representation of every digit and threw them in an array. I used a constant for the limit here, which has me do limit -1 down here, which is a little bit ugly, I'll admit, but it's not too big of a deal. I could have done all of this in one line. I don't prefer to do things that way. As I've discussed before, it's sort of less readable, I think, because if we did all this in one line, it would be item equals let's go ahead and type this out real quick. And, like, if you don't already know this, like, every piece of this, if you're coming in and you're trying to figure out, okay, what is this doing? This does not look very readable, in my opinion. And let's just double check that it's giving us the same answer. Yep, same answer, similar amount of time. And obviously this is a shorter amount of code, fewer lines, but as I'm saying, like, it just does not feel as readable to me as splitting it out. Every programmer, I think, has their own preferences as to how much they like to split things out versus one line. And it's definitely a judgment call. Like, I don't need to have gotten this item. I could have thrown this inside of the int call in the print statement. But I'm comfortable doing something like this, but I feel like this part should be pulled out into its own. I say should. It's my personal preference. There's no real reason. But yeah, all I did was I made an array, set the limit. I called this permutations method, which, let's look at the documentation here. Returns successive r-length permutations of elements in the iterable. We did not set r. I believe that r is going to default to the size of the iterable, because that's what we saw. And yeah, it's basically giving us exactly everything that we need. And since we got the correct answer, it's pretty clear that it is returning it in lexicographic order. So everything else is just real boilerplate stuff. I had to convert that object that it returns into a list in order to access a particular item in the list. And then I used the join statement on the string to make that little array that printed out the first time come out all nice in one piece. And then I converted it to an integer when I printed it so that it wouldn't print out the little quotes. And that's it. This one was pretty simple. So I'll see you in the next one.